I think I can see some people in there, ain't there? Yeah. Oh, wow. There's a lot of people looking at this. Look at this. What a trip. So, anyhow, here I am, and there you are, and this is just a way of saying hi. Hello. How is it? Where is it? How do we get there? Do we really want to get there? We're already here. Anyway, my ears are ringing, and this is my interview. So, anybody has any questions?
Yeah, I would say, where were you born?
Oh, I was born in the part of the planet that is called DR, Dominican Republic. Then before that, we have Quisqueya, which is what the native called it. And that
Interesting.
was to the whole island, including Haiti. That's like such a mess, man. It's just unbelievable. The only thing that is, thank you for the squeaking, the particular time of the of the conversation. It was perfect because I was talking about how insane that frontier between DR and Haiti is. It's like some stupid legacy from some kid that didn't know, probably didn't even know where her bottom hole was, and that left us with this bloody mark on a tiny little island. Well, that's
Yeah.
not tiny,
Well,
but
what language did you
island.
speak when you were growing up?
Spanish. And then on the
Really?
other side, you
Can
have
you
the
speak a
French.
little Spanish for us?
Oh, seguro que sí, es bien español así con el acento cubano.
Ah, sí,
Yeah,
cubano, huh?
muchísima gente piensa que soy cubano, pero
Yeah,
soy
like an accent
dominicano.
like a Cuban.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty much the
And
same
then
culture.
after you left, how old were you when you left Dominican Republic, and where did you go?
I left Dominican Republic when I was in a movie theater watching Woodstock, and
Whoa.
everything went so high over my head. The only person that was at the bridge was Santana.
Hmm.
I understood, they begin to get it. And I walked out of the movie theater like completely transformed. I didn't even know it at the time, but that's what basically a big, huge seed was planted there. And the universe, life, God, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't particularly like the word God, but the universe. My mom was already living in the States, so part of the American establishment, empire, uh, program that they created at the time. This is 72, a few years after the invasion of the Dominican Republic by the by the American Navy in 65. So I'm not sure about this, but I really think that it was some kind of a program to have the youth just basically leave the island, because that way you cannot get any rebel trip happening like Cuba, because Cuba and Dominican Republic are so tied up together. But I walked out of there, with a third vision. It's like that's like the duo, or like in the pyramids. You have the you either for the country or against the country, or But then the third vision was what happened in Woodstock, and it was so over my head, and I couldn't even understand what Hendrix was doing at the time. That the only bridge was Santana, and that was the beginning of something. A couple of years later, thanks to that program, I was in New York City.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you discovered music, or you started playing guitar in New York City,
I
or how
was
did that work
already
out?
involved in music. My first lesson was really on a church organ, in DR.
Wow.
It was the quickest lesson ever, and I still use it. I mean, basically, like, forget about all the black kids, just play the white kids and leave
Hmm.
one in between, And I
Oh,
just go like, no, now I know that we're talking triads,
okay.
with
Right.
with a major or minor, you're just going up and down the keyboard. But the love started even way before that. It's always been like a constant. And to me, it seems like the happiest people around me were always the people who had a guitar in their hands. Everybody else looked
Mm.
very serious, and
Very seriously.
marriage looked like hell.
Wow. Wow.
And now I know that it is hell.
Yeah.
You know.
Life is challenging, right? So, and then you got also involved in some type of spirituality, I believe Osho or something.
Well, the connection with Santana was so deep. I'm actually glad that I'm really putting this down, because I hope that he gets a chance to hear this. Because I met him a few times, Santana, but I I never really harassed him, I told him about anything because I just wanted him to be normal for 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It's like these people who are we put them in such a pedestal. Sometimes they just want to just walk in and say hi,
Right.
and just talk like a regular person. I used to work in a rehearsal studio in New York City, and that was one of the things that became very obvious and very clear. Whenever you were talking to David Bowie or Yoko Ono, Loving Spoonful. These guys just wanted to be normal, when they were
Wow.
rehearsing.
You got a chance to talk to all those people, huh?
Yeah, I did. John Lennon's kids.
Wow.
And whenever I met Santana, I never really harass him that way. But the truth is that because of that connection on the Woodstock Festival, when he went Sri Chimnoy and got his hair down and did a Love Devotion Surrender album with John McLaughlin, and they went jazz. Needless to say that my head just kind of went around in circles on top of my shoulder, just like The Exorcist, And I'll tell you how old I am, 70. It just went like, what, jazz? What the hell? India? Guru? What the fuck are they talking about,
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, man, sometimes we are messengers of something way the hell much bigger than who we think we are. And it works in incredible ways, So yes, I got... New York City is like a little microcosm of the whole planet. You
Right.
can pretty much check everything that is going on right there without really having to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my best friend at the time, we were the two weird kids in the hood. He was into philosophies and so was I. So we would always be having these weird arguments. We're talking about 16-year-old.
Wow.
And then after that, I would go and hang out with my street friends, the hood, and write graffitis, My graffiti for the Upper West Side, 139th Street was Baboon 139, The early 70s when the whole hip hop and everything started. Anyway, when Santana did that, I actually got very curious and I began to look and search. And finally, I kind of gave up, because it's like, yeah, there was some stuff here and some stuff there, but it was basically a whole bunch of garbage, when you get right down to it. There's always been really good literature, but literature, reading books and the actual experience are two totally different things.
So when you say you gave up on religion or searching or spirituality?
I spent a lot of time checking out like a whole little different things.
Like Buddhism or Islam or Christianity?
No, I was definitely not into any of the organized religions, because I was brought up. Dominican Republic is very Orthodox Christianity. That's where Columbus first took a shit, when he crossed the Atlantic, The motherfucker was almost dying, the native people saved him,
Right.
And look what happened to them, It's like some shit just never seems to change.
Right. So you gave up on searching spiritually,
and then it happened.
And then you met Osho, or
yeah. I think.
And tell us about like what you learned from Osho.
Well, basically, the main thing that I have really learned from Osho is to unlearn.
To unlearn.
Yeah. Because we have gotten so full of junk and some of it good, some of it most of it horrible, that we don't know what it's like really to be empty, on the inside. And that takes a lot of work. I'm amazed at the dude, still, just as a, not as a master and disciple, student, whatever you want to call it, thing. That's my own personal stuff. But just as a regular person, that the amount of energy that he put out and the kind of a Buddha feel that he created, that so many people got such a strong taste of basically the same old truth that everybody's been talking about for fucking ever,
What is that truth according to you, or from your perspective?
Well, not according to me. It's more like what is, and it's basically just silence, universal silence, and you have to melt into that to really feel it. Nobody can give it to you. Nobody can tell you about it.
Right.
It's an experience, and it's like flying on an airplane versus driving on a car.
Right. And then I'll have a bridge question here to get you to the music. Is how
Yes.
how does that relate those concepts relate to the music that
The
we're
most
playing
important
together?
thing in music, and this is something that is taking me a real long time to learn, is silence. So that's where the whole link is, between what to me and what Osho also redefined as religiousness. Uh, always music seems to be the closest to it,
Hmm.
because silence. You have to have silence.
Hmm.
If you don't have silence, what you have is noise.
Noise.
And sometimes you can say more on a silence, on a drop silence, than you could with notes. And you never know which way the wind is going to blow, so you have to be ready for both.
Right, right. So when they hear music, our music, farrightchills.com band, what would you want them to feel or experience, or if they come to the shows or buy a CD or, anyway, touch a
Well,
part of our
there's
musical expression?
the same thing that we're all been hankering for millennia. For a few seconds we can shake the shackles of real slavery, which is not just the last few hundred years. This has been going on forever. And it's the conditioning that we get, born into. And anything that kind of help us move a little bit out of it, anything is a blessing, especially music. And that's what we offer, you know. Far Eye has written some really beautiful stuff, and it's like an honor and a pleasure to actually be backing him up on this, And it's taking a lot of juice to get there. So come and come and drink from it, because
Yes.
we are high on it.
Yeah, yeah, and putting that work in. Krishnanda, do you have any, Chris Styles Bingham, do you have any comments? It was Chris that introduced me to Pathen, and I'm so grateful. And we've been jamming and rehearsing, and this is Wednesday around 4, and we're going to go for a couple hours, 2-3 hours. Put it in.
Oh, and
Any questions for Pathen or?
what comes is I've always known Pathen about him and stuff, but we never had anything that we were working together on. And now I'm really happy to be in this project of making music because now we have a excuse to get together and have fun and do things together and create together. And it's like a very without playing this music together, we probably wouldn't have time to, get together. And having the music gives us both this a kind of a space to create our spiritual side and our, joyful side, and joyful and love and celebrate life and happiness and all that stuff, which is very important.